All right, so we've been on the AI beat from the beginning when they dropped ChatGPT with the angle, well, this is the end of Hollywood. It's the end because very early with ChatGPT, they started demonstrating their beta test of video where you can put in text and get video. Now, if you look at how quickly this technology is advancing, what do you need Hollywood for? The whole thing that maintains the entertainment industry, or any industry really, is the bar to entry, right? And the bar to entry is economic. If you need certain very specialized, expensive equipment to produce something, that's what creates an industry. Otherwise, there'd be no industry. People just make it in their house, right? You don't need it. That's what AI is going to do. Like, yeah, you'll still have some kind of conglomeration of very highly capitalized entertainment creators, but there'll be one among many. Just like I saw Gary from Nerdrotic talking about this. Yeah, you still have radio, right? Radio didn't go away, but it's not significant in the way that it was. So here you're seeing one of the first real examples of what AI is going to do to the whole way that this industry operates. So Tyler Perry put $800 million studio expansion on hold after seeing OpenAI's Sora. Quote, jobs are going to be lost. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Over the past 4 years, Tyler Perry had been planning an $800 million expansion of his studio in Atlanta, which would have added 12 sound stages to the 330-acre property. Now, however, those ambitions are on hold thanks to the rapid developments he's seeing in the realm of artificial intelligence, including OpenAI's text-to-video model Sora, which debuted February 15th and stunned observers with its cinematic video outputs. Quote, being told that it can do all of these things is one thing, but actually seeing the capabilities, it was mind-blowing, he said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter on Thursday, noting that his productions might not have to travel to locations or build sets with the assistance of the technology. As a business owner, Perry sees the opportunity in these developments, but as an employer, fellow actor, and filmmaker, he also wants to raise the alarm. In an interview between shoots Thursday, Perry explained his concerns about the technology's impact on labor and why he wants the industry to come together to tackle AI. Quote, there's got to be some sort of regulations in order to protect us. If not, I just don't see how we survive. Now, I'm going to get into this more at the end, but I just want to point out it's very interesting seeing an industry, and I don't have anything against Tyler Perry specifically, but it's very interesting seeing an industry that is a very PMC industry with with people who, if, people at the lower rungs don't have economic capital, they definitely have a certain cultural capital, right? This is not a blue collar kind of an industry. And it's very interesting seeing that industry, which is uniquely positioned to draw attention to social issues because of the visibility of the platform they have, unlike other types of labor. And they've done nothing really as an industry on the whole, but shit on people whose blue collar jobs went away.
Well, also, Tyler Perry got a little shit when he opened this studio in the first place because Georgia is famously a right-to-work state where you can't open up a strictly union shop. And so, this plea for more regulation is set against the backdrop of the fact that he opened this up in a right-to-work state. Which, that's interesting. If that's his home state, I don't know where he's from. If he has a connection to that state, it's kind of weird to say you can't open up shop there. But that is something to keep in mind when you're talking about these labor issues.
Well, somebody here is saying he got huge tax breaks, which of course
I'm sure he did. Yeah, of course.
To build something like that in the state, of course you're going to negotiate tax breaks. But I'm just pointing out, it's very interesting seeing them kind of trying to ask for the same kinds of protections that blue collar workers have asked for a very long time, and as an industry they didn't give a shit about. and if anything, through their political preferences for neoliberal politicians, have actively supported the dismantling of labor through the people that they've put into office or helped put into office. So anyway, I mean, Tyler Perry, I don't know specifically his politics, but as an industry, it's interesting seeing them crying for protection from technological changes in particular. All right, so the rest of this, I just pulled some quotes from this interview. But it is interesting because Perry is both a performer and a businessman. So he's kind of addressing it from both sides. I have been watching AI very closely and watching the advancements very closely. I was in the middle of and have been planning for the last 4 years about an $800 million expansion at the studio, which would have increased the backlot a tremendous size. We were adding 12 more sound stages. All of that is currently and indefinitely on hold because of Sora and what I'm seeing. I had gotten word over the last year or so that this was coming, but I had no idea until I saw recently the demonstrations of what it's able to do. It's shocking to me. I no longer would have to travel to locations. If I wanted to be in the snow in Colorado, it's text. If I wanted to write a scene on the moon, it's text. And this AI can generate it like nothing. If I wanted to have 2 people in the living room in the mountains, I don't have to build a set in the mountains. I don't have to put a set on my lot. I can sit in an office and do this with a computer, which is shocking to me. It makes me worry so much about all of the people in the business because as I was looking at it, I immediately started thinking of everyone in the industry who would be affected by this, including actors and grip and electric and transportation and sound and editors. And looking at this, I'm thinking this will touch every corner of our industry. I just used AI in 2 films that are going to be announced soon. That kept me out of makeup for hours. In post and on set, I was able to use this AI technology to avoid ever having to sit through hours of aging makeup. I think it's going to be
goes to Mars.
That's AI, well, that's
space
it. That's
adventure.
it. He wanted to do a space version.
Yeah.
But the budget was a deal breaker.
Exactly.
Now, this is very interesting, and I think this is very true, what he says here. I think it's going to be a major game changer because if you could spend a fraction of the cost to do a pilot that would have cost 15 million, 20 million, or even 35 million if you're looking at HBO, of course, the bottom line of those companies would be to go the route of lesser costs. So I am very, very concerned that in the near future, a lot of jobs are going to be lost. I really, really feel that very strongly. I just hope okay, so yes, you're not, I mean, what he says next, we'll get into it, but you're not going to be able to stop this. Because even if you did get Hollywood to sign contracts, you'll get fucking schmucks like us. We're not signing no contracts. We'll use it. How are you going to stop everybody from using this technology once it's available? So what? Hollywood are going to be the only people who are paying $20 million for a pilot? Everybody else is paying 50 cents? How they would collapse as an industry? Like that's it. That's like saying that's like, and this has happened whenever you've had technological changes. It just usually impacts blue collar work, the weavers, right? You're going to keep the weavers working when you invent automatic weaving. I just hope that as people are embracing this technology and as companies are moving to reduce costs and save the bottom line, that there will be some sort of thought and some sort of compassion for humanity and the people that have worked in this industry and built careers and lives, that there's some sort of thought for them. And I think the only way to move forward in this is to galvanize it as one voice, not only in Hollywood and in this industry, but also in Congress. All right, so we're going to take a little look, and this is very primitive already. Like these guys did this a few months ago, and they are the name of this company, and apparently they also offer classes now, so they're making some money. Curious Refuge. And they do offer classes in AI filmmaking. They really made a splash doing these different interpretations of what different franchises would be like if Wes Anderson directed them. So we'll take a little look at their take on Lord of the Rings.
Our quest is clear. We must destroy the One Ring, overcome the eccentricities of our newfound fellowship, and perhaps learn the true meaning of friendship along the way. For this adventure, we'll require a walking stick, antique maps, breakfast, the ring of power, a pipe, a sword, and second breakfast.
Featuring an illustrious cast of Middle-earth's most distinctive inhabitants, starring Timothy Chalamet, Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Edward Norton, Lea Seydoux, Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, Bob Balaban, Jeff Goldblum, Ben Stiller, Christoph Waltz, Willem Dafoe, and Owen Wilson. The Whimsical Fellowship is a refreshingly unique interpretation of Tolkien's timeless tale. Journey into theaters this summer, and remember, not all those who wander are lost.
Okay.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Like the Edward Norton and the Benicio del Toro renderings were like off, but the other ones were pretty damn close.
The Bill Murray was great.
The Bill Murray was spot on, and the Ben Stiller was pretty much spot on too.
So if you can do this now with AI, it throws everything out the window. Like, what do you need? Some voice actors, maybe? And for certain things, not even that. I mean, eventually you probably won't even need that. You'll be able to have the AI hit the kind of inflection you want. You'll play around with different inflections and attacks and intonations.
What was the thing? Like, if you get like auteurs using it to craft movies, then you can get like the artistic writing genius of the writer. Not that Tyler Perry is a genius, but he is a writer-director, right? Who'd be putting his scripts on, combined with, very, very low budget productions because they're just AI generated. The entire thing is CGI. Like, I don't think you can replicate genius with AI, like the George Carlin comedy thing.
Right.
But you can do things like this, and we might play this over on the Rumble stream because YouTube with the melody, it was a copyright issue. If we played it here, we're allowed to play it, but they would steal our money if we played it, so we didn't want to do that. But did you guys see on Twitter the Beach Boys, not Beastie Boys, the Beach Boys AI cover of Jay-Z's 99 Problems, but a Bitch Ain't One was great. It was brilliant. I mean, it was so good.
Well,
I got the Gap Patrol on my rap patrol. See, I sang less than 5 seconds, so I can get away with it. But it was so good.
Well, now that I saw they offer classes, I'm going to take one.
Yeah.
Because what we would do with that technology, if we know how to use it, I mean, for a channel like ours. So,
we could take the nights off.
Yeah. Who's going to make a better comic book movie than a really precocious 13-year-old? They're gonna blow Hollywood out of the water in a lot of its own genres, and what you're really going to see a breakdown of is the gatekeeping. Like, Hollywood has certain sectors of Hollywood have really gone out of their way to be the arbiters of morality over the last few years, to much consternation of fans. They're not going to be able to do that. It's just going to completely fall apart because everyone's going to just be able to make a movie. I think you're always, because of the amount of capital in certain things, you're always going to have some kind of a higher end industry. But in the future, that's likely to be Apple Studios because they have money to burn. It's likely to be Netflix. It's likely to be Google having some kind of an ancillary film studio, Amazon making movies. Like, I think these tech companies are likely to be the closest thing to Hollywood left, and these old studios, they're going to die or they're going to be bought out by companies like Apple. Like, there are already rumors of Apple buying Disney.
Please clap.